So firstly, let me just say for YouTube, this video is just my own ideas and speculations, purely theoretical, philosophical, and for entertainment purposes only. So I've already talked about the SETI-QV Act of 1666, and this allowed essentially the state to take ownership of everything. It gave them the excuse to assume all of us are dead unless we prove we are alive, and in which case they can create a trust and hold all our estate in trust on our behalf. But they can do it in secret because they assume we are dead. But later on there's another date, 1701, I think. And that's another important date because that's in a way where they took this up to the next level. That's the date in which Parliament essentially declared themselves sovereign. So before that, the people were sovereign. We were the living men and women. The individuals are sovereigns. And the Parliament, or whatever organisations, were in service to the Crown. But the Crown meant us, the people, the sovereigns. So that the Parliament had no power. It was always still in the hands of the people, us, the living people. And it meant living people then. But then they changed it. So 1701, Parliament became sovereign, became the Crown, and the people became the corporate dead entity persona. So it's like they took the SETI-QV Act up to the next level. So 1701, everything started to become incorporated. So now what they're doing now is they've turned this Parliament, or this so-called, what was meant to be a democracy, into a corporation. So they're not supposed to do that. It's now a franchise, essentially. And it's quite interesting because really in 1701, that was such a big deal. They changed so many of their own laws, their own rules, they're breaking them. You go back to the Magna Carta, the Constitution or whatever. They were not allowed to do that, but they did it. So from 1701, everything that's happened is illegitimate. Every law that was created, every, so-called body of the state, everything is illegitimate. You say every court, all the police, everything. None of it is legitimate by their own rules. So that's quite interesting. See, the reason I'm saying this is because you've got to understand this matrix. The matrix we live in is this strange control structure. And it's based on law, so we have to believe it. So there's a certain amount of real law in there, but they have to be able to do whatever they want. So they created this legal, manipulate it, change it. And you've got this democracy. And democracy again, okay, that was meant to be something genuine. I mean, a real democracy is such a thing, but a real democracy is a sovereign world. It must represent every single individual. Remember, only an individual can be sovereign. You cannot have a group of people and call that sovereign. It doesn't work. Now this is fundamental, this is metaphysics. If we can understand there's no such thing as a group of people that becomes an authority. And in fact there is no such thing as authority at all. Only I have authority over myself. You see, authority means author of. I am the creator. I create my own energy. I create my own thoughts. I am a singularity of consciousness. It's like I'm emerging from nowhere, a point. I am creating energy. And I'm self-aware. I have self-awareness. I'm a singularity. I'm a creator. That means sovereign. And you cannot have this abstract group of people, or you cannot have a corporation and call that a sovereign. It's not a creator. It's not doing anything. It's just the illusion of it. You see, even a body of people, an elected body, okay, that's what Parliament was supposed to be, just an elected body of real living men and women. We elected them to represent us, the interest of each one of us individual sovereigns, and they were just supposed to do international negotiations. That's it. They had no power. So that was getting closer to what a true democracy might be. But now they changed it. Now, 1701, Parliament is a sovereign and we the people are the corporate persona. And they're not allowed to do that. It's all deception. They're breaking their own rules. No one has authority over you. Because you create your own energy. Nobody can create your energy for you. This is why it's metaphysics. The only reason someone has authority over you is if you let them. You have to open the door, let them in. If you think about it, really, you still have authority. You have given the authority to allow them to take control of you. It means really you're still in control because you are the one allowing them to take control. And it also means at any given moment you can stop it. No, stop. I'm not letting you control me anymore. You always have total authority. There's no real authority over you, especially not an abstract authority like a body of people or a scientific community, or a political party or a king, a queen. That's not authority. It's always like this. We always do have ultimate authority. We always did and we always will do. It's just an illusion that we believe there's an external authority. If you think about it, if you like to believe in God and you think, well, God is the highest authority, well, what? No. No, because even God has no authority over you. Look at it. If you're religious, you'll say, well, God told us to do this, that, and the other. But do we do it? No. We do whatever we like. God tells us, but we do what we like. If God actually had authority over us, we would be all good little God's children. There'd be no evil, but he has no authority over us. We are ultimately our own authority. Once you get this, the power comes back to you. Now, it doesn't mean we don't work together. This is not solitude, loneliness. We can work together. Like I said, a true democracy would be a genuine representation of every single individual. Now, that's very difficult. But now we actually have the technology for this. Blockchain technology actually would allow a true democracy. And that's what I'm working on. But again, it would be a perfect true democracy. It would be absolutely perfect and infallible because it's based on an algorithm. And all we need is a system that maintains this true democracy. It cannot be, there's no way of taking control of it. It would be impossible to centralize. Again, this sounds idealistic, but actually we have the technology to do this. I'm calling this ENTIFY project. And the end goal, it would be this, we could have a whole new system, a genuine sovereign world representing the individuals. And there would be no requirement of a body of people. But like I said, you could have it if you like it. A group of friends, a group of like-minded people want to build a community in a certain way. That's fine. You're all individual sovereigns, but you work together on a project that you like together. If you don't like, you leave, you do something else. A free world. But what we've got now is this illusion of authority. And there's another way we can prove this, because in debating there's a thing called the fallacy of authority. Something like that. It means you cannot make an argument. I cannot argue my case and say, well, it's because Professor XYZ said this, therefore it's true. You can't do that. Or you can't say because this body of people, the scientific community, said it's true, therefore it must be true. No, you can't do that. That is the fallacy of authority. You cannot appeal to authority in a debate. You must always present 100% your own logical argument. that cannot be disputed. We have to accept the idea, and I think we all do, that it is possible for one person in the world to be correct, and everyone else in the world to be wrong, incorrect. You see, it's the same in a debate. You cannot appeal to consensus. You cannot say, well, because 100 people agree with me, I must be right. Can't say that. Because 1 million people agree with me, I must be right. You can't say that. No. Because in logic, it is possible for one person all alone, really in the universe, to be correct and everyone else to be wrong. Therefore, you must present your argument as an individual with logical steps that are indisputable. Then you win the debate. But remember, a real debate is not an argument. It is a search for the truth. We don't care who wins or loses. We're both trying to find the truth. And we find that by taking these logical steps. And appeal to authority is not a logical step. Appeal to consensus is not a logical step. You can't have it. So logically speaking, we are all sovereign, an authority, an individual, and we must acknowledge that, and we must respect it. And the matrix essentially is dividing us and grouping us together in large bodies, tribes, taking away the power from the individual. Now they want one world power, one world state, a global state. That sounds good, but no, that is the total opposite of sovereign. You're now a total hive. Everyone is one. Now this is not the ultimate metaphysical oneness with the universe. This is oneness in total control. It's the exact opposite of sovereign, which is total decentralization. Each one is a separate individual, an authority in their own right. And again, they want us to feel weak. Remember, this is metaphysical. I have to believe, feel and understand that I am sovereign, then I'll feel more confident. When I feel weaker, I feel small, I feel childish. Then I don't feel sovereign. A child is not sovereign. They need help. They need support. They need guidance. But an adult is sovereign. It must be self-awareness, certain level of self-awareness that I understand I am an author, I am an authority. It's a certain level of self-awareness, a singularity of consciousness. So they want to make us feel like children, then we need help, then we open ourselves up to external authority. And they can control us. So it's also a feeling, it's your energy. And when you have a strong energy, you have a stronger feeling, you have more confidence, you feel more sovereign. So that's why we have to build it from ourselves. So thank you so much again for listening. Please do leave me any questions or comments, and I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.